And our topic for today will be so contact tracing forms. A very critical part of our COVID-19. Usec,
Bev? Bev, can you hear me?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. As Bev has mentioned, we have very special guests for today. Ngayong araw po, mag-usap-usap tayo regarding contact tracing. So, gusto lang ho namin i-highlight yung importansya ng contact tracing dito sa ginagawa nating response for COVID-19. Kung maaalala nyo po, lagi pong binabanggit ng lahat ng tao yung testing, test, and test. Pero hindi po na i-highlight na marami pa ho tayo mga ginagawa aside from testing. Marami rin hong nabubuo sa isip ng mga tao na pagka walang test, hindi na tayo makakagawa ng aksyon. At iyon po ang gusto naming iparating ngayon sa lahat sa inyo para lang po matulungan nyo kaming maikalap natin ito sa ating mga kababayan. Even though we do not have any test, maari na po tayong mag-trace ng contacts natin kasi alam naman po natin kung sino yung may simptomas, kung sino yung pinagsususpetsahan natin. At ngayong araw po na ito, nag-imbita tayo ng nandito ho si Commissioner from the Data Privacy Commission, and also we have our Mayor from Cebu City na gusto natin i-highlight yung best practices nila for tracing contacts, maipakita po ang importansya ng pag-trace ng contacts, and also we would like to have to listen to Commissioner Liboro para po maipaliwanag niya po kung gaano ka-importante ang information, kung gaano ka-importante yung trust na ibibigay ng tao para ibigay niya yung impormasyon sa gobyerno, at kung gaano ka-importante na makuha ang impormasyon na to para makita po natin yung mga taong maaaring makapanghawa ng sakit na ito sa ating community. So for today, our format po would be that we would ask Mayor Labella and Commissioner Liboro na magbigay po ng mga pangunahing mensahe nila, at pagkatapos we will open the floor for the questions coming from all of you. So over to you, Bev.
Usec, before we start, maybe let's have a review lang po, no? So in short, parang what do we qualify? Okay, so meron tumawag kay Usec, no? So what qualifies po as a contact, no? So sa ating mga guidelines, ang close contact po ay nangangahulugan na people or patients or contacts of people who are confirmed to have COVID-19 and sila po ay nakasalamuha less than 1 meter apart, no? Ng someone for 15 minutes or more, or they are in a close setting with that person for about 2 hours. So that is our official definition po. Lamuha, yun po yung mga in general contacts na. So maybe we start na po with Mayor. Ayong buntag, Mayor. May you already start sharing the story of Cebu City po with our media partners. Over to you po, Mayor.
Sure. Well, of course, we have to underscore the fact that tracing is a very important component in this fight against the coronavirus. People who work with, associated with, live with, and of course, what in one way or another had proximity to the patient. Well, of course, Cebu City, on our part here, we were able to really come up with a very effective and efficient and extensive contact tracing methods. That's precisely the reason why perhaps as of yesterday, we were able to find out that there were about 1,749 positive patients but 95% of these are asymptomatic. And if you consider the mortality rate of the disease, started this very effective contact tracing. As of yesterday, is only 0.091%, because we were able to isolate after we had this extensive contact tracing. Percent and them called as barangay isolation centers. Of course, the protocol of automatic content, we were able to put up barangay isolation centers. Asymptomatic patients. So, as I said, contact tracing has been very effective in finding out these people who are found positive but asymptomatic, so that we're able to really prevent the spread of the virus in the locality.
Very much, Mayor. Just follow up a little bit po. Saan po galing yung mga contact tracers natin in Cebu? And are they employed or are they parang staff who have been repurposed po? Just so the media will also know parang saan po natin nakuha yung marami nating contact tracers?
Of course, when we found out there are certain very densely populated barangays, when we found out that there were patients found to be positive, immediately our city health personnel, in collaboration with our barangay health workers and our regional health office, the department, immediately conducted contact tracing to those people whom they lived with, associated with, played with, and worked with, and to those residents who are proximity, especially in the very densely populated areas of the city where many informal sectors live. So that's how we started the contact tracing. And at one point also, when there was this detainee in the city jail found to be positive, we immediately, through the city health office, and of course, in coordination with the Department of Health, we immediately conducted contact tracing for the entire day and found out that there were about 300 of them who were able to get the virus, but 95% of them were also asymptomatic. So that's the danger there. They don't have signs, they have a lot of colds, they have cough, they have fever, but if they mingle and mix around, it could contaminate. So on this regard, we were able to isolate the 300 detainees to another building where they could not contaminate the other detainees in the city. So these are the things that we did. The very densely populated barangays, once we find out that they are positive, we immediately have them isolated in our barangay isolation centers. And in this regard, we are also happy to know that there are already many of them, more than 100, who are on their way to recovery. Hopefully this will continue, because the city government has been really very supportive to provide some subsistence to those who were isolated and placed in our barangay isolation centers. So the tracing is very important component to prevent the spread of this disease. And perhaps that could be the reason why our death rate, as I've said, one life lost is life to many. So this is one thing that we should really prevent, even if people say that there is an increase in the number of patients. But let us face this reality. We are facing an invisible opponent, So let us not be blinded by just simply disregarding. We have to continue mass testing and, of course, intensive and extensive and effective contact tracing. And I just would like also to emphasize that we have the support. We have the support of the people, especially those whom we tested through self-tests or the PCR machines. We have tested already more than 10,000 of them, mostly based on contact tracing. And at the same time, we're also undertaking another rapid testing, that is swab testing, in collaboration with the cities of Malawi and Lapu-Lapu, because we have this project, Balik to Right, where we would like to find out on the 10% threshold of the population if we could go now to somehow modified general quarantine. But at this point, because of this undertaking, the massive tracing that we have through a scientific, evidence-based and data-driven approach, we will be able to come up with what is really ideal, modified, and that we are looking forward that we could achieve this idea because of our massive tracing.
So yes, sir. No, thank you. Yes, sir. No, thank you. The contact tracing that determines who to be tested. No, hindi parang the entire city, diba? So it's the contact tracing that helps you actually prioritize who to test. No, so hindi siya random. Okay. So sige, sir. We first go to Commissioner Mon, and then we open the floor for the media to ask questions. Commissioner Mon.
Thank you, Dr. Bev, and thank you, Usec Rosette, and thank you, Mayor Labella. No? Before I start, I really could not help but commend also the report done by Mayor Labella about the inroads and their success, and I particularly like what he said, that this should be a scientific, evidence-based, data-driven, extensive, but hopefully, Mayor, not expensive, no? But kasi mukhang talagang involved lahat at tingin ko yan ang very practical, no, hanggang barangay. So let me start by saying to all our guests, right from the start, following the President's declaration of the public health emergency, it is really imperative for government to strike a balance between individual data privacy and vis-a-vis public health interests, no? And that includes the public rights to know. And we wish to emphasize that the Data Privacy Act of 2012 does not prevent government from doing its job in this pandemic. We have enough provisions in our laws from the Data Privacy Act, which is a mandatory reporting of notifiable diseases, RA 1173, that allows government to contact trace, to treat patients, right, and to face this imminent threat, vis-a-vis, while also guaranteeing that rights of patients, of the public in general, are guaranteed, rights that they also expect. No? So hindi ho balakid ang mga batas na ito para magawa ng gobyerno ang kinakailangan niya under the present pandemic circumstances. So having said that, we're quite clear, no, right from the start. Ito po nga po, we simplified it, ang instruction and guidelines to everyone by saying, collect what is necessary, but disclose only to proper authority. So yun po yung ating, sabi ko, simpleng guidance, no, to everyone. Since this started, we already issued 12 bulletins, really, no, to clarify and also again, no, to show, no, paano ba natin binabalanse itong mga, sabi nga natin, yung consideration of public interest and also individual privacy rights. Because we understand that the proper handling of health information, especially of coronavirus patients, no, is crucial in stopping the spread of the virus. No? And government agencies mandated to address this public health emergency must have access to the relevant information to accomplish this purpose. right? So right from the start, we have been working with the Department of Health, okay, in not only through our guidelines, but in crafting new guidelines and policies. So if you're not aware yet, probably, Dr. Bev, you can also shed more light on this. We issued recently a joint memorandum circular. I think that was right at the last week of April, wherein we outlined the privacy guidelines on the processing and disclosure of COVID-19 related data for disease surveillance and response. Now, again, this was done to aid our national government and local government units responding to this crisis. So, maganda siguro matignan nyo rin yun kasi yun na rin po yung gumagabay sa ating lahat. Hindi lamang po yun, I think meron na rin pong nirebisa na guidelines on contact tracing dahil nga po dito ho sa lumaking responsibility na ng DOH at maging ang DILG na kino-consider na rin counterpart in this contact tracing procedure, yan din po ang gumagabay sa lahat. So malaking bagay po yan because as Dr. Usec Rosette mentioned earlier, I think the very core of contact tracing is trust, and the trust that government will be able to fulfill its job, trust na kung ano man ang binigay nilang impormasyon sa kung ano man ang binigay nating impormasyon sa public health authorities natin ay magagamit ng tama at hindi magpapariwara. But having said that, I think yung trust niya that this social this covenant of trust or trust covenant must be maintained by both, meaning hindi lang ho ang gobyerno kundi rin yung publiko at inaasahan halimbawa ng gobyerno na sasabihin din nitong mga pasyente ang tamang impormasyon para magabayan yung ating public health authority. So, mini-maintain natin itong trust na ito sa lahat ng ating gawain. So, siguro, yun lamang po ang aming sasabihin dito. Marami rin po kaming bulletins na nilabas. But I guess I just want to mention the work, that the detailed work that we have done together with the Department of Health. Yun lamang po. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Mon. So at this juncture, we will now open the floor for questions. Unahin ko na po yung question dito sa chat group. Question for Mayor Labella. How many contact tracers do you have, and how long does it take before a contact tracer is able to find all contacts of a confirmed case? Over to you, Sir Paul.
Well, and so far as Cebu City is concerned, we have about 8 teams that are conducting contact tracing, and of course, this is composed of DOH personnel, the regional office, and of course, there are also elements of the Philippine National Police, the barangay health workers, the city health department, and they undertake contact tracing 24 to 36 hours. That's why we were able to, insofar as the tracing based using the swab tests, we were able to test more than 10,000 already. And as of now, there is a continuing undertaking. Jointly also, same group on the rapid testing together with the cities of Mandawi and City.
Sir, how many nag-PCR test na po from Cebu City versus nag-rapid test po?
Yesterday, it's more than 10,000 for PCR, because we were able to purchase 35,000 test kits for PCR, and with respect to the other mode, which is the rapid testing, as of yesterday, but it's continuing. we have already tested 8,000 in Cebu City.
Sir, for the rapid test po, sir, for the RT-PCR test, so you partner with SPMC po. With Vicente Soto, right?
That's correct. Together with Vicente Soto, Department of Health, and of course the epidemiologists of the region.
Questions from our media partner. Okay. So from one of our media partner, sabi po niya, in our region, Governor Cheese Escudero announced the name of their first positive patient in aid of contact tracing. He asked all patients admitted to the COVID facility to sign a waiver to divulge their name if they turn out to be positive. Commissioner Mon, maybe you'd want to comment on this po.
Thank you. The lawful criteria for processing of sensitive health information. So I'm not really fully aware of the details of the question, no? The context of that, okay? But for example, right now, again, this is really the public health authorities under our RA 11332, no, na meron pong poder sa pag-handle po ng confidential medical data. A patient has a right to waive, no? For example, yung pong itong kanyang karapatan sa data na ito kung siya po ay papayag. So, sinasabi ko lamang po dito, lahat po yan ay meron pong criteria under the law. So, yan po ay dapat sinusunod ng lahat ng local government units, no? So, that has been yung pong susunod. And I think there are more yung mga practices po tulad ng kay Mayor Labella would bear out, no, to yung tamang proseso ho, no, sa pagko-contact trace, which is again scientific, it's evidence-based, and really based on trust, no, between the patient and the government.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mayor, next question po from Caroline Tonkin. What challenges do the contact tracers face po? May mga hindi po ba nagdi-disclose, nahihiya po, natatakot? Over to you po.
Well, of course, that's one of those challenges. There are those who are scared, but we were able to explain to them the fact that, you know, we have a hashtag here, be a hero, be tested. Because this hashtag would somehow tell the person that when you have yourself tested, it is not just for your own benefit, but for those people whom you love, whom you care, that you will be a hero to them if you would have to be tested. And I think we are quite effective in putting up this hashtag, be tested and be a hero. So these are one of the challenges. And of course, somehow the limitation of health personnel, frontliners being subjected to discrimination. But I think on this regard, because of our massive information dissemination, and because also of the fact that, especially in the case of Cebu City, where we were able to pass an ordinance against discrimination of health personnel, we were able to address one of these challenges. But one thing we are really happy is that when we use this hashtag, be tested and be a hero, many were able to, somehow realize that this is for the good, not only for your own self, but also for the people you care.
Siguro, Mayor, could you also maybe share to the group how your contact tracing teams were trained? Were the policemen, parang paano po sila naging form ng isang team, tsaka gaano po sila katagal training?
Yes, can I have the question again?
Sir, how were your contact tracing teams trained? So, paano po sila naging prepared to do it? Did they have to go through a training for a few hours? At paano nila alam kung ano yung role nila ng DHW versus ng police versus ng DOH regional office?
Yes, they have meetings, briefings, the day before proceeding to the area, together with our city health personnel, the personnel of the Department of Health, was been very, very cooperative. And of course, the safeguards, the protection gear, and the protocol that has been imposed by the Department of Health. They are brief and they are well coordinated. I think that is one of the factors why we are quite effective in the contact tracing approach.
And then, sir, the city and the PPEs are all fully equipped po sila, PPE-wise.
Yes, yes. As I've said, we were able to, in addition to the testing kits that we were able to purchase, 35,000 testing kits, we have 20,000 PPEs that have been used by our frontliners and also donated to the Vicente Soto. So all these people who are involved in contact tracing are well protected. They are wearing protection gears and masks and all the necessary equipment for them to be protected also while they undertake the tracing process.
Thank you, sir. So, clarification po for Com Liboro, does the patient have the right to waive his privacy? Tama po ba? So, the LGUs can require them to reveal their names? Com,
All right.
you.
Okay. Okay. Bev, can you hear me?
Yes po.
Okay, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me, Bev? All right, kasi dito naka-mute pa rin eh. All right? Okay. When you say, I think you must remember, ito po mga kasama ho natin, that there are two laws operating po, particularly dito sa data, personal data, and contact tracing. And ito ho yung ating 11332, Mandatory Reporting of Notifiable Diseases in Public Health Emergencies and Concerns, and also the Data Privacy Act of 2012. When you say who kasi divulging yung confidential medical data, under, dito po sa 11332 po natin, kailangan pong sabihin ng isang pasyente at kailangan din pong magamit yung data po niya. Hindi po kailangan ng consent po ng patient to be for the DOH to do that. Again, but that is again the realm of yung public health authority po natin ang gumagamit po dyan. So, in that case, hindi po kailangan humingi ng consent sa isang pasyente kapag po kailangan gamitin ng Department of Health ang kanyang informasyon para ho makarespond ang Department of Health dito po sa ating emergency. So, marami lang tinatanong niyo po dito, yung nabanggit ko lang kasi yung waiving, patient waiving his right to privacy ay pwede po yun, pero sabi nga natin, if you would get the consent, meron din pong standards po yung batas po natin dyan. Any consent must be freely given. It must be specific and an informed indication of will ng pasyente po, whereby yung pong data subject or the patient agrees to the collection and the processing of the personal data about him at kung ito nga rin po ay ilalabas sa publiko. So, kailangan kung publiko ang pinag-uusapan natin. So, I guess, alam niyo pinakikinggan ko si Mayor Labella, yung success nila sa Cebu. Never ko narinig sa kanya that they resorted to divulging the names of patients to the public. I guess that really informs kung bakit din naging successful po sila. Because we've always stood that revealing the identities to the public or providing information that could accurately identify people who have come forward to be treated and to be tested. And if you will divulge their identities to the public, it's counterproductive and could do more harm than good. Because I firmly believe that if people believe that their identities will be released to the public when they come out for testing, they may be discouraged to come out, making it more difficult for the DOH and the rest of the interagency task force to identify more COVID-19 cases. So I'll go back to the experience of Cebu. I think they're doing it, the combination of using technology, the competent personnel doing detective work, and that has worked for them. So yun lang po yung masasabi na.
Sunod na po natin, Pom. Ano po ang assessment ng NPC on the capacity of hospitals, LGUs to keep patient data safe given na may mga warning na cyber experts of a possible breach since everyone is going digital in this pandemic?
Again, I would like to refer everyone. We also came out with a bulletin on this, specific on how to secure or protect personal yung home patient health data in this time of COVID. And we've come out already with our statement also on this. But just to again, to answer your query, we keep on reminding everybody under this situation, and also as we enter into the new normal, when everyone is working from home, specifically ngayon, of course, our hospitals are also filled to the brim. Diba? Cyber criminals are also working from home, and they have really more time to again create havoc and chaos dito ho sa ating system. So this is a new norm that we are getting into, and as we all migrate to this, diba, yung nefarious activities from criminals are also migrated to this new normal. So we really have to shore up our defenses, and I think hospitals too are doing that. They should be doing that, and again, to prevent unwanted security incidents and events, especially personal data breaches. For now, we have reported this out, that we have received breach notification from health institutions, numbering around 17. We have received 30 breach notifications. But most come from these breaches coming from health institutions. So that's why we came up with a bulletin to address this and guide our health institutions on how they could further shore up and protect personal data in this time of COVID.
Thank you, Commissioner Mon. Mayor, meron naman pong question dito. Ano po ang measures taken ng Cebu to ensure that the patient's data are kept safe? Over to you po.
Yes, of course. As mentioned by the Commissioner, this is a matter of privacy. But of course, we noticed that there are some patients who really do not mind if their identities are being revealed. But of course, we assure them that their identities are kept that there will be no data leak, even though the office of the mayor. So we assure them on that. But I have also noticed that there are some patients who really do not mind if their identities are being revealed, because as I've said, especially those who believe that testing or tracing is really that important to prevent the spread or contamination. They really don't mind. As I've said, this has start be tested and be a hero. But of course, we assure that their identities, their right to privacy is also being seriously considered, even up to the office of
Usec. Usec, would you like to comment?
Yes, sir. Mayor, gusto lang ho natin itanong because of course ang ating media partners would like to be informed of the process. Like when we do our tracing, Mayor, Meron na po ba tayong referral centers? Dinadala na po ba natin agad ang ating mga individuals na na-trace dito kapag suspects or probable na sila even without a test, and then doon natin sila itetest at mag-aantay tayo? Quarantine already for 14 days, o paano po ba ang proseso sa Cebu?
Okay. Usec, we have, but first of all, because of this approach, we have barangay clusters. These barangay clusters divided to north, south, west, east, west, east, north, south, and this barangay cluster clinics would receive like persons who are having some kind of symptoms. Now, if they are found to be positive but asymptomatic, of course, the protocol is home quarantine. In the same manner that after the tracing, if we found patients positive but asymptomatic, we place them in what we call as our barangay isolation centers. We have about 3,000. We have about 3,000 or 2,638 beds for our barangay isolation centers. And these barangay isolation centers are the schools in collaboration with the Department of Health and the Department of Education. Those found positive but asymptomatic are placed in our barangay isolation centers. Now, for those found with mild and moderate symptoms, we have prepared quarantine centers. And these quarantine centers that we have are compliant with the Department of Health protocol. Like, for example, our North Reclamation Area Quarantine Center, which can accommodate 200 to 250 mild moderate patients. It's equipped with negative pressure equipment. And the other quarantine center for mild moderate cases is the Bayanihan Center, which is a joint project or edifice of the Ateneo, the Cebu Chamber of Commerce, and of course the Department of Health and the City Health Department, which can also accommodate about 200. And the other quarantine center for mild moderate cases is the International Eucharistic Congress Hall, which can also accommodate 200, 80 to 200 patients, mild moderate. And for those severe and serious cases, of course, they will be brought to the hospitals. And I am quite glad to announce that those quarantine centers for mild moderate cases, I think as of now we're able to accommodate only 10, because a great majority of our positive patients are asymptomatic. So on that regard, we could say that Cebu City is not overwhelmed. In fact, in my last conversation with Vicente Soto Memorial Medical Center, because of course there's a ward there for COVID patients, it can still accommodate 60 to 70% because of the kind of protocol that we are doing here for mild, for positive asymptomatic barangay isolation centers. And while there, they are being monitored, taken care of by the city health personnel. And in addition, because of we're glad that we have the resources of the city, and because of well-meaning private outfits, individuals, and firms, we were able to provide them with the necessary subsistence, food, medicines, vitamins, and for which reason, as I've said, our hospitals here are not overwhelmed while we are undertaking this massive tracing of people in the city of Cebu.
Yes, Bev, I believe we have questions here regarding the hiring of contact tracers. So, kanina nasagot naman ni Mayor na nakapag-hire sila. Pero gusto ko lang tanungin si Mayor, yun pong ating ngayong structure for contact tracing. We have DILG, in partnership na po ang DOH with DILG and of course the local government units. Ito po bang ganitong naging sistema po natin? Ano po ang naging reaksyon ng community when we started fielding our health officers together with our PNP, sir?
Well, as I've seen it, the response is quite positive, especially if they see that there are also police personnel that are helping, seeing to it that everything follows. And I could say it's the reaction is positive, especially if they see that our health personnel are wearing the right protective gears and using the right protocol spelled out by the Department of Health.
Bev?
Thank you, Mayor. May question din po dito related to the minimum health capacity standards of one contact tracer needed per 800 people, no, per 800 population. So may we know if the DOH is still hiring contact tracers or LGU na ba ito? Maybe Usec will answer this po.
Yes, itong contact tracers, kasama sila dun sa hinahire natin ngayon. Merong binigay na goal or parang number na kailangan nating ma-achieve para magkaroon tayo ng adequate tracing of contacts for the whole Philippines. Ito ay popondohan din kasama nung sa Bayanihan Fund natin for emergency hiring. So this is part of what we are doing right now. Basically, sa local governments, we are trying to partner with them so that we can hire also contact tracers para dun sa kanilang areas. At maganda na ma-hire nila is somebody from their community also, so that trust is there. So kagabi nga lang may tumatawag sa akin, no, dito sa barangay namin, Bev, tinatanong yung ginagawa nating hiring for contact tracers because I think our local government already has issued out, no, this announcement that they are hiring this number of contact tracers for the locality. Over to you, Bev.
Thank you, ma'am. So yes, for most of the positions po that the DOH is advertising, actually even for hospitals or the LGU, so the items are actually sila din po yung nagre-recruit, no? Hindi na po natin siya centrally nire-recruit. Okay, may question dito. How many contact tracers do we have nationwide?
We're getting the numbers currently, no? Pero ang initial natin, yung parindate natin na numbers, no? Kinukuha lang po namin. We will give you later bago tayo matapos.
May question din po dito kay Commissioner Mon. Clarification, no? So yung last April 12, CAPSEC Carlo Nograles said that is requiring public disclosure of personal information. But IATF no longer sees this as necessary as long as it may access the patient's data. Over po. From
Again, ayan, can you hear me again? Can you hear me now? Bev?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
All right. I guess, and Usec Vergeire will also, clarify this. Pero I really thought yung statement na yon was already clarified by CAPSEC Carlo Nograles himself, saying that it was not meant to the messaging was not for the information to be disclosed to the public, but the public must be really forthright, no, in revealing their medical condition to health authorities. So that has been clarified already. by Capsec Nograles. Right.
We have questions po for Usec. A baby was born in a birthing clinic in Toledo City last May 12. A few hours later, the baby manifested difficulty in breathing and was rushed to the hospital. If vertical transmission of COVID-19 is not yet proven, what are the possible reasons for the baby to be infected just a few hours after being born?
Katulad ng sabi natin, wala pang sapat na ebidensya para makapagsabi na may vertical transmission. Ito yung tinatawag na infection mula sa nanay papunta sa bata kapag siya ay ipinapanganak. Ngunit kung sinasabi dito sa report na ito na just a few hours after being born, nagkaroon ng difficulty in breathing, no? Kailangan muna natin mabigyan ebidensya kung talagang nagpositibo ang bata na ito, no? Unang-una na yon para malaman natin kung talagang COVID nga and in just a few hours after being born ay nagkaroon siya. Pangalawa, kailangan din natin also ma-determine, no, kung ano yung naging history ng nanay at saka kung ano yung circumstances during the childbirth. Kailangan natin malaman lahat yan para maimbestigahan. Kung sakali na positibo nga ang bata, atin itong inonote, pag-aaralan, dahil katulad nga ng sabi natin, kailangan ng mas masusing pag-aaral at sapat na ebidensya para makapagsabi tayo that really vertical transmission is happening. Dev?
Thank you, Usec. Maybe we should also answer this question from Caroline. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque admits the government has no program yet for mass testing. He said private sector will carry out mass testing due to limited testing capacity. Why is this po, and is this really the case?
Meron na tayong programa, no, for expanded testing. Dati pa natin yan nilabas. Meron tayong mga iba't ibang klase ng pasyente na isinama natin dyan. Kaya nga sabi natin expanded kasi kung matatandaan nyo, nung nag-umpisa tayo, yung first natin na mga initial months of the response, we really were focusing on the vulnerable at saka doon sa mga severe and critical. But later on, because of this expanded testing policy, naisama na natin kahit yung may mild lang na symptoms but with exposure, and even asymptomatics are being tested now but with exposure. So ito yung 4 na subgroups ng pasyente namin, and this is our expanded testing. Alam mo, mula pa nung nag-umpisa, we tried to veer away with this term na mass testing kasi gusto naming isipin ng mga tao that this is not indiscriminate testing. Kasi pag sinabi mo mass testing, iniisip ng mga tao buong populasyon ng Pilipinas, which is not the case. Ang expanded testing po, yun pa rin po, tayo ay magfo-focus dun sa mga taong kailangang i-test talaga because of exposure and because of symptoms. Over to you, Bev.
Thank you. Oo, no? So we would just like to show also, again, the example ng Cebu kanina, di ba? So nagtatrace sila mayor and then nagtatest, no? So hindi siya kung sino lang po yung tinatest natin. We also need to remember na hindi po, we have limited resources also, no? And marami pa po tayong pagagastusan in the course of the next few months as we fight this entire pandemic na hindi siya matatapos bukas, no? And we also need to make sure that our resources are enough para po to make sure the PPEs are there, all the other supplies that we will need, reagents sa laboratory, etc. No? So kaya we're very clear about making sure that those who need to be tested are actually tested. And Cebu gave us a very, very good example of how they have rationalized their spending and their use of their resources, beginning with strong contact tracing. I guess at this point, we are over our time, no? We understand that Mayor and Commissioner are also very busy. For all the other questions, we will try to address them in our chat group with the media partners. At this point, maybe I'll ask first Liboro and then Mayor to give their closing statement as regards to and privacy
Yes.
and statement by Secretary.
All right, so Doc Bev, yes, is my audio clear? Sorry ha. Yes, so well, to our friends, thank you for coming over, and it's also my first time to attend this, but I guess our messages have always been curt, brief, and simple. Collect what is necessary and disclose only to proper authority. Our laws are sufficient enough to contact trace, to treat patients, and to face this imminent threat, at the same time guaranteeing the rights that our citizens expect. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mayor, last words on contact tracing po.
Thank you very much, Amor, for this opportunity. Of course, likewise. Thank you, Usec. Thank you, Commissioner, for this opportunity, and of course, to your televiewers. We will always continue to contact tracing for as long as it's really necessary, because for us, this is one of the most important components in really fighting this coronavirus disease. Of course, we also acknowledge the support of the Department of Health, together with our well-meaning friends in Cebu City, especially also the private groups, in coming up with our ideal, especially in our project Balikuhay, wherein three local governments, Cebu City, Mandawi, and Lapu-Lapu, together with the cooperation of the respective chambers of commerce, to come up with an idea wherein after we shall have studied and take the 10% threshold, we can somehow relax and maybe move from the enhanced quarantine to a more relaxed setup in these cities. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. Usec?
Yes, Bev, maraming salamat po, Mayor Labella and Commissioner Liboro. Thank you for spending time with us para ipaliwanag po ang napaka-importanting parte ng ating response, which is contact tracing. Kami po ay hindi nagkakaila na ang resources ng ating gobyerno ay hindi ganun kadami. And contact tracing is one of those important components whereby nagagawa po natin yung protocol ng expanded testing. Katulad ng pagpapaliwanag po natin kanina, kung atin pong susundin ang protocol, ito po yung pinaka-rasyonal para gawin ang expanded testing, doing the contact tracing and testing all those who had been exposed once resources are there. Especially ngayon, nakikita natin ang good practice po ng Cebu, where they have their own laboratory in Vicente Soto. Sila po ay nagko-contact trace, nakikita nila lahat ng may simptomas, at doon naman po sa walang simptomas, na-expose naman po sila. So this is really as opposed to that perception where people think that mass testing is really parang lahat ng tao ay itetest natin. So contact tracing po, napaka-importante para sa atin lahat. This is part of the major components of the response to COVID-19, and we laud the efforts of the Cebu City, and also marami pa kong ibang mga LGUs na ganito po ang ginagawa. So sana po maipaliwanag natin ng maayos sa ating kababayan kung gaano ka-importante po ang makapag-trace ng contacts. Pangalawa po, gusto lang ho namin i-highlight yung importansya ng personal details, importansya ng impormasyon para makahanap or ma-identify natin yung mga tao na kailangan po nating i-manage for this response that we have. Pero sana, lagi din naaalalahanin yung mga sinabi po ni Commissioner Liboro, yung tungkol sa privacy ng data ng isang tao, yung informed consent dapat kung talagang buong detalye ay ipapalabas natin. At pangatlo, of course, yung pong trust na sinasabi natin, hindi magbibigay ng impormasyon ng tao kung hindi nila pinapaniwalaan ang mga taong pumupunta sa kanila. And this was best exemplified by the government ni na Mayor Labella. Kasi talagang sabi niya, sa mga tao, champion kayo. Kayo ay mga heroes kung kayo ay makikipagtulungan sa amin para matrace kayo at ma-test kayo. So I think that is one that we need to highlight para naman po magkaroon ng motibasyon ng ibang local government units natin dito sa bansa. So thank you very much po to all of you. Maraming salamat sa ating media partners. We will answer all of these queries na nasa chat box. Don't worry. Ipapadala po namin sa aming Viber group. Maraming salamat. Bev, over to you.
Thank you, Usec. Thank you po again to our guest for this morning, Commissioner Mon Liboro of the National Privacy Commission. Tapos, you and Mayor Edgardo Labella, thank you very much, sir, for making time. Alam po namin, busy din kayo dyan sa pagsugpo ng COVID dyan po sa Cebu. Sige po, maraming salamat po. We will answer all the questions sa media part. Okay, thank you po.
Salamat po. Salamat.
Bebs, hello po. Ma'am. Bebs, hello po.
Yes.
Yes po. Ma'am, this is Aiko Miguel from UNTV. Ma'am, I'd just like to request for the copy po sana, kung okay lang po, na earlier po today para maihabol po namin kasi kailangan din po namin talaga ng video for our newscast.
Okay, sige. Team, siguro si Carlos, okay ba yun? What time can we give po?
Hi ma'am, we'll probably be able to give it, mga around lunchtime po, mga by 12 siguro ma'am.
Yung mga sinubmit na question sa form, kasama dun sa isi-send sa Viber?
Yes, opo.
Thank you.
Sir Carlos, yung pong question na posted po namin dito, baka pwede pong ma-include nga rin po sa...
Yes, opo, isasama din po siya. Lahat po ng sinabit natin.
Or if ever po may Q&A po mamaya sa hapon, kung meron po.
Sige ma'am, opo. We'll include all the questions that were submitted yesterday and today in the report that we'll be giving you later po.
Pero possible po ba na may Q&A po mamaya sa briefing, sir?
We will have to... we're limited by time din po kasi and we have guests din later. We'll be having General Magalong and Mayor Labella again as our guests, so that would take time. Instead, what we do po, diba, the past few days, what we've been doing is we compile all the questions, tapos we submit it, we give it to the media after the presser. So, most likely, ganun din po ulit yung gagawin namin.
And sir, sorry, habol lang po. Yung pong Webex po namin, Webex po natin every Tuesday and Thursday, baka po pwede namin malaman yung guest prior po nitong conference para makapag-prepare rin po kami ng questions na talagang designated po for them at may idea po kami sa topic po.
Yes po, opo. We'll do our best to try to give you the details of the in advance. We've been doing that naman po previously. We parang the day before we already announced who our guests will be, pero for the next time, so we'll do that na.
Opo, sir, gulat po kami today, hindi po namin kilala yung guest. Thank you po.
Okay. Doc Bev and Carlos. Si Lay po. Opo. Sabihin ko na lang din yung concerns ng mga ibang DOH reporters, including myself. Kasi lately napapansin namin na hindi na-accommodate yung mga Q&A. And while we appreciate naman na may pinapadala kayong document, halimbawa for TV, kailangan din namin ng sound bites. Kaya sana huwag parating walang Q&A. Para din natatanong namin directly si Usec, nakapag-follow up kami.
Sige po. So, ang po nyo as Q&A po, no, ma'am?
Opo, ma'am. Like, di ba ang objective naman sana nitong Webex Forum, makapagtanong kami directly kay Usec. Sana po maibalik po natin yung portion na po na yon. Tapos yung mga iba po naming tinatanong din po sana for the daily press briefing, sana po may mga masagot din po.
Okay. Ma'am, we'll take note of that. Opo. we're working very hard to improve all our systems din po. Bilang ang dami rin talagang demands ngayon. At
Okay.
Senate
We
hearing.
appreciate it naman po. We
Thank you
appreciate it.
very much po for your kind understanding.
Opo. Thank you.
Opo. So, may isang CSO, the CSO ng Action for Economic Reforms are extending an invite for, I think, a webinar now. I'm not sure if you guys have received an invite, pero just in case, if you will be interested, yes, wait, hanapin ko lang yung invite link nila para ma-share ko. Or maybe I'll just share it in the Viber na lang po. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.